weird. Why did it do that? Oh, we're gonna have to do that on the fly. I don't know why I thought of it. Oh, hi everybody. I had to even mute myself. Muting up now. Yo, everybody in chat, say happy birthday to Twisted. TwistidSky's birthday today. Yo, happy birthday, bro. We're just working out. He's finally in the Discord. We're just gonna get him tuned into the room. I'm just waiting for confirmation that he actually sees the room. This is crazy. Yo, y'all. All right, we'll see y'all in a minute. Hi. Nice background choice.
What is it? Oh, it's a fucking...
It's the whoop, whatever, woobie thing they call it. I can't remember. I know it starts with a W. Woobie, wobby, something like that. The Discord character. So what takes you to Hong Kong? Like, wow.
Did you hear me?
Yeah, it cut out for a second.
I was saying, are we live now?
Yeah, we are definitely live.
Okay. Is there a chat going on somewhere?
On YouTube, would you like a link? I'll send it to Facebook. Let's see here.
And then
I didn't really
post it on.
Oh shit! No, man, no, I'm not ready for that. Hell yeah, bro! That's awesome. All right, 1 second. Let me get the better link than the actual stream link and copy Facebook. And Control V, make it easy. All right, there's the stream. You can also get a look at how it looks too.
Pretty sick. The hell, like, it's loading. Give me 1 second. Let me like actually take a screenshot of this and then
you're good, bro.
Put it somewhere because it's just a black screen at the moment.
No problem.
There we go.
I'm sure there's a good amount of lag for us between you being across the pond and all that good stuff.
Across the big pond.
Yeah.
A very big pond.
Yeah, we'll get to that because I definitely get to live vicarious to all y'all who travel around the world, and I have some sayings I can fix now. I just haven't.
Have some what?
Things that I needed to fix, and I had to wait a certain amount of time before I could fix those to be able to travel again outside the country. And so DUI matters, nothing major, not like but you get enough DUIs around the continent, and they tackle them up together. Let's just say that
they lock you down.
Yeah, I have a few here and a couple there, and one here and one there, and they kind of combined them and said, "Hey, you can do this program, but you'll never get your license back again, and you can't travel anywhere." I'm like, okay, whatever, as long as I can have my freedom and still go to work. So, yeah.
Remind me your Instagram handle again? Don. Is it Donnie?
It's at Donnie FPV. Yeah. I can give you that one too if you want.
Dash E or
dash E. Oh no, underscore. Sorry, Instagram doesn't let you do
underscore.
Yeah. It's the only one that doesn't let you.
Stupid Instagram.
It's probably something to do with their coding, and it uses that character. That's the only thing I can think of. I don't know.
There we go.
I'm not that smart.
No.
That's beyond me. I'm really surprised I'm actually this good at this part of stuff and the drones.
I was gonna say, because the Discord part, I don't even know how to do.
This is like my baby.
Ridiculous.
I live on Discord. For somebody who's kind of living a very, very shell life, being a recovering alcoholic and not wanting to be around people or anything because my sobriety is just way more important. And then, of course, the video I sent you of how I got into all this, and then that led to Stu from UavFutures, and long story short, hanging out with him in his Discord, I kind of got reintroduced to the world, and then going to FPV events, and like I didn't have to be afraid that I can actually interact with people again, no matter what they were doing. Like, it's none of my business. Like, so, but that's enough about me. You're in Hong Kong. Like,
yeah.
When did you get there?
I don't. What is today? Thursday. Today Thursday.
For you, yes.
Yeah. I think we got here on Sunday or Monday. Sunday. I don't know the days anymore.
Yeah,
I'm just living sunrise to sunset.
And well, yeah, but that still changes once you get so far across the pond. I'm like, I'm very
Yeah,
grateful that you're here. You know, I was worried about the sleep pattern and all that, but you know,
it's 12 hours different, so it's 10 a.m. or 9:30 a.m. here, so
yeah,
it worked out perfectly. If I was in Austria, it would have been a little more hectic because it would be like -6. It'd be like 3:30 in the morning at the moment, if I were still there. But
right, right. Yeah, we
it's
could
good
have,
luck. It worked out.
and we could have totally worked out around that too. You know, I don't know about
Yeah,
how much earlier because of my 9 to 5, but I could have totally went later and
yeah,
just been like, "Sorry, boss, I'm dragging today."
real late because
Yeah.
3 a.m. you would 3 hours from now it really would have been midnight for you, and it would have been 7 a.m. for me or 6 a.m.
Yeah, and so streaming an hour or two, yeah. Oh well,
Too much.
I've tortured myself for
Too much.
worse. So here's
Yeah, me too.
that. So,
Sweet.
thank you again for coming on. Um,
Yeah.
uh, we'll talk a little bit about the meetup that we did there in Atlanta. I have the ride along on loop there in the middle between us on the stream side of things. We don't see that, but I do have that on a third monitor that I freaking dragged up out of the freaking dirt. It's old, but it works perfectly for some 4x3 freaking analog footage. So, you know, good old HDO2s. So we'll get to that a little bit later, and we'll kind of talk about that while both watching that. I hope that works. It's the only part of this that I have never done before. Every time I've ever done any streams, and most streams for that matter, people just watch like 30-second delay on the YouTube side of what people are watching. But I really been thinking that we could do this on Discord, and so we're gonna try that out here in a second and see if we can both watch it at the same time in real time and talk about that with the audience. So you've been there about 3 days, 3.5 days, and what's it
Yes,
like?
like that.
What's it like traveling around the world?
Um,
Obviously, the sleep thing, sun up to sun down, and you gotta adjust yourself. But
yeah, sleep thing's not too terrible. At the moment, we're finally like I'm traveling with my girlfriend Kelsey, and we're staying at Trappy's house at the moment. And
okay. So I was gonna lead to
so
that. Like, are you meeting up with Trappy? You doing something with Trappy? So,
yeah, I'm sitting in his house at the moment. He's asleep upstairs because we're all still pretty jet lagged. So
okay.
we've been getting up at like noon, or well, I got up at 5 a.m. yesterday and ran for like 3 miles, and then came home and worked out a little bit, and then hung out with Kelsey yesterday all day, walking around the city, going to these shrines and shit inside downtown, not necessarily downtown Hong Kong, but close to.
Right.
And got home at like midnight last night, and I don't know, was hanging out at TBS until midnight, and then took a cab home, and then was on the internet until 2 in the morning, and then woke up at 5 this morning. And then I've been awake since 5, and now it's 9:30, and
Yeah.
the sun is up, and it's not currently raining, which is nice because I haven't actually flown here yet, and the wind is
Uh,
really calm, so I might actually get to fly today.
yeah.
So that would be kind of cool.
So now, did you fly a lot, or just like when you can? I noticed too, though, like most of your videos are always golden hour. And when we met up, it was golden hour. Yo, hey, thanks for that tip there, Chuck. Thank you again. Um, I don't have my stream deck hooked up for this. I left that all out. I was trying to keep it as simple as possible. Um, oh, Broccoli in the house. What's up, Broccoli? Thanks for tuning in, man.
Broccoli.
uh, Now, before I get sidetracked, because that's why I try to leave that on the side, or I dedicate certain time for that, because I'll get sidetracked so easy. I usually do a Saturday night, but it's more catered to the adult side of things, of the marijuana side of things. But uh, this is an all age stream, and so that's why I kept it this way, and that's why I went on a Wednesday. I didn't want, I didn't know how you felt about that. I know Stu doesn't partake in all that, but he knows that for somebody like me, recovering alcoholic, it's my meds. It's just that simple.
Yeah.
And it helps with other
Isn't
things.
Stu in Australia? I
Is
don't know. Is it
he,
illegal in Australia? I don't know.
no, it's starting to legalize. Melbourne has some places. Yeah, and then this one cat that comes here in the Discord, LB, says he can get it online and have it like delivered. I'm like, wait, it's like America. Let's go.
Sounds pretty different.
Right. But anyways, you are going on what 11th year or yeah, about 11th year in the whole quadcopter
In
life.
2014. I
So
think I started flying in June 2014 or April 2014, something like that. So
yeah,
yeah,
just a
about
decade.
11 years.
Wow, I'll be damned. Oh yeah, just over a decade. Sorry. I wanted to talk a little bit about the Tyler Perry movies. Like anything that's already out.
Okay. I don't even know what I work on. I'd have to go look at
Wow.
the
That's
cast and crew thing because it's like he does like 1,000 movies a year. So
and right, and you're just
I
doing
don't
a
even know.
particular clip or something.
I just show up for a week or a week or 3 days or a day and film for something. So yeah, I don't even know. I think he has a series called Beauty in Black, and I think I've done like 40 days on that,
Wow.
but I have no idea. I've never even seen, like,
Me
I've
neither.
shot the footage and then
Like, because I was
we
checking
don't
out some
rewatch it. I don't,
movies, and I was like, yeah, I've seen him in acting, and I've definitely seen some of his movies, so that's why I was curious.
I think
But
we did
definitely heard that one.
Medea's Destination Wedding as well. Medea's Destination Wedding. They did that in Caribbean, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's the Caribbean, right? Caribbean. What is that? What is that island? Bahamas. It's in the
Oh,
Bahamas.
Bahamas. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Wow.
That was a terrible, terrible trip.
Was it?
No, it was great. It was like a week's paid vacation,
Sometimes
but
you're
like really, really, really good pay.
nice, dude. Oh,
Just
nice. I'm not
here,
gonna
hang
lie,
out
I'm a
on the
little
beach
jealous.
and
Right.
first
And
class
then do
everything,
this
and
and fly that.
yeah, it's pretty cool. One of the fewer cooler like actual shoots where I got paid a decent amount and had a
Okay.
decent time. And I brought Kelsey went with me. Would you pay like $300 for a flight or something? So yeah, we got a full vacation, like a week in the Bahamas for $300.
Heck yeah.
Pretty legit.
Yeah. Uh,
Yeah. So you been flying at all? Do you
I've
fly a
been
lot
I
regularly? You flying
I
drone like FPV or
I'm trying to
yeah,
get
line of
a
sight? Do you do
lot.
any of that?
I do practice line of sight. Not maybe not like all the time, but I do. As long as it's in front of me, I can pretty much follow it around if need be. I get a little bit more unoriented when it's coming at me versus,
Yeah, it's hard.
yeah. But I should be able to because I used to be able to do it with race cars when I was younger and stuff. Again, I just have to practice at it. Um, but no,
You do.
a lot. I'm considered a wannabe kind of. I'm so much and so much, and then plus the work. I'm guilty of not putting in enough stick time, for sure. But I do love building. I've got too many drones, and that's another thing. I remember you saying one time on an older, I don't know if it was a stream or just like a pre-recorded interview with one of the Road Riot guys or something back in the day, but how like you stuck with the same style quad, like, and didn't really vary from too many when like kind of putting in the stick time. Because I know you fly all kinds of stuff. You do the helicopter 3D thing, and which I catch those a lot on your reels. So
I like building. I like building a lot too. I just don't do it that much anymore. I actually, when I was in Austria last week, I spent like 3 days just building planes. So and quads. I built uh 3 planes and 2 quads, or 2 planes and 3 quads, something like that. So I'd
cool.
be up for like 5 hours just talking shit, fucking building a
Yeah.
drone.
I've built a
I have this
wing
like
so far. I haven't built no planes I've always wanted to do a helicopter. I never even knew about 3D until I came into the FPV side of things. Like I've seen like helicopters fly upside down like clips or something back when I was younger, but just didn't know that was like a 3D thing. Like I didn't know all the dancing stuff like I saw later when I found FPV. But I still want a helicopter. I mean, that's my dream job, really. If I could fly people around in a helicopter, that'd be sweet. Especially like for a private pilot.
RC helicopters are too damn expensive.
That's why I never, well, and that's why I couldn't even afford to get into it. I mean, right? It was from a car to anything that had more than just a motor and steering. You had to get a different kind of controller, you know? Like a gun controller was easy and cheap, you know, for a person like me and my family.
Is that what they call those?
Twisty.
That's they call it a gun controller.
Pistol. I don't know. I don't know what the real actual name is. Maybe somebody in chat can let us know. But yeah, you know, I had a Futaba, and then I had a Tamio or whatever plastic race car that I glued together over and over and over. So,
did you race electric or
yeah,
electric, like nickel metal hydride batteries?
Yeah, oh yeah, I made them and did all that. Yeah. Yeah, my dad took me to all
Did
kinds
you ever
of
do
different
nitro?
races. No, I wanted to. And I got a neighbor now that I guess he's totally into the monster trucks and the racing, and so he's got some nitro stuff. So I'm hoping, and he's kind of a little interested in
street car
side. Yeah, but I do want to do that. I want to do an FPV boat, maybe even with the gimbal system. That's my kind of thing.
An FPV boat.
Yeah, because I'm surrounded by water that I don't ever fly around. Like I could totally utilize all this beautiful lake footage, dude. But
you should make an FPV airboat so that you can drive it on land and on the water. And it would be cheaper because you just take mini quad parts and put it on a
just
plank.
Like a wing, but build yeah. I could totally probably just
drag that shit on the ground. You could 3D print like a hull and then mount a mini quad motor and put 04 on it, waterproof it, send it. Be pretty sick. I've never seen an airboat. I've never seen any.
I don't even think I've seen. Yeah, I was just gonna say I don't even think I've seen an RC airboat, let alone an FPV one. Hey.
I mean, if you live next to all the water, you could.
I do.
Plank across the.
Like I'm starting to fly a little bit more and more over it, especially since I have enough that I can afford to if I lose one, like you know, and I don't fly GoPros that much anymore because 03s and 04s, you know. But I own them all. Walksnail, HD0, like I had to have it all. Like you would think I'd spend money like on my teeth or something, but no, here I am just blowing it off fucking drones all the time. But I lost a drone in a swamp, and that's what got me terrified of the water. And that was when I was real early on.
Do you live in Florida or?
No, I live in Michigan.
Yeah. Michigan, okay.
I mean, granted, we trucked in it. I floated in a kayak while a few different neighbors there put their waders on and stuff and trucked through it. And, like I'm sure.
Couldn't find shit.
I'm sure if it was anywhere, it was one we stirred up a mucky spot with them walking in it. It was never found. And I said, hey, if you guys find it, you know, blah, 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 here's my information. I'll give you a reward. I was like, if the kids want it and learn more off of it, I'm also willing to do that. But I never heard nothing.
Was there a GoPro on it as well?
No, it was just a Gecko 3-inch. So, yeah,
okay.
I was just out trying to film the floodwaters with the run cam split V2, I believe it was. It was the red one. I think it was the red one.
Cam. Oh, I think I do know the red run cam. Yeah. I thought all run cams were orange, but yeah. I guess they do whatever they want. Yeah. I've seen some red. Our Fox here used to be red.
Oh yeah, and it might have even been what were those Cadex Rotels or whatever? Didn't they come out with or somebody else came out with some split cam versions? It might have been one of those. Anyways,
to the run cam, Swift went away. I haven't bought a run cam in 5 years or more. Actually, I take that back. I probably haven't ever bought a run cam, but I was given run cams and I haven't been given one in 5 years, so I don't know.
So, like, are you sponsored by like pretty much every FPV company out there?
Not sponsored by anybody anymore. Nobody does shit with FPV.
Just
the fuck.
What about all right, so then we'll move back to the thing. My this is like my because I'm not sure. I probably could have done the research, but now is ethics just like its own entity, or is it shared with like HQ proper? Because like I know that was a thing back in the day, so I wasn't sure if
So,
that's how that.
um, I mean, I was sponsored by. I mean, I guess I'm still technically sponsored by HQ. But for at one point, I was sponsored by KISS, HQ, Impulse RC, Thunder Power, RunCam, TBS, and Fat Shark, and what else is another brand that's involved with this? I think that was it. But I had like 7 or 8 sponsors at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, FR Sky and GoPro. I was technically like not sponsored, but they gave me cameras, so I guess you could say that I wasn't like a GoPro athlete or anything.
See, and that's what's
But
funny
anyway,
because see
so that's
that'll get me to one of the rumors that you like made a deal with GoPro and like so much, bro, like so much, like you just meeting you like answered so many questions. It was so funny, and we'll get to that. I didn't mean to cut you off.
no, it's okay. And then like over the years, they started dropping off. There's different companies like stopped doing whatever. So in the beginning, at least, when you were sponsored, that was kind of like an indication of you being pro. So
Right.
like early on, 10 years ago, there weren't really sponsorships. There were people that would like give you stuff, and that would be a sponsorship.
Right.
It's kind of like being am in a skateboarding world. Like you
Yep.
just get free stuff,
Yep. No, I can totally
and they might
relate
pay for
because
your travel.
I was an amateur pro freaking, and I got boards and bearings, so I totally
Yeah,
understand that.
so it's like being am, and then when you become pro, then you have like a pro model shoe or a board or whatever, and then they pay you based on either sales or they just pay you a salary, and then you are technically being paid as a professional. So there was not anyone that was being paid to do anything FPV in the like
Right.
ever. I mean,
Right.
FPV
Right.
was so new. There was no pros. And so I made a couple like pro model things. So I had like the first pro model prop, which was an HQ 5x4x3 glass nylon red Mr. Steel prop. And then like subsequently after that, every pilot that was anybody had a color of the same exact prop, and that was like their pro model. Like Metal Danny had white, Schizo had like this fucking teal blue. Like we ended up making a yellow Rotor Riot one. They're all the same prop. It was just
Right.
different colors of the same prop because it was the prop that everybody wanted to fly. And then at some point in there, I asked, I don't remember which one was the first company, but after a while, I started asking like, "Hey, can you pay me like a salary because I'm essentially selling a shitload of things for you and I'm not getting anything out of it other
Right.
than
Right.
just you're making money off of me making YouTube videos and I don't make any money on YouTube, so
Right.
can you pay me like a salary?" And I ended up working out a salary with every single one of those companies. So there was a point in time where like each company would be paying me somewhere between $500 and $1,000 a month just to do what I was doing.
Right.
So that was kind of a cool point in time when you got an extra
Right.
7 times 500 coming
Right.
in or whatever.
Yes.
And then over time, some companies came and went, like KISS split up, and there was a guy, Felix Nielsen, that or
Yeah.
Neeson,
Yep.
that basically branched off and created FetTech. And I really like Felix. I've been dealing with Felix since he invented KISS. Uh,
Mhm.
I followed him, and then he did FetTech, and I was sponsored by FetTech, and they were paying me. But realistically, I just would have gone. I only fly the shit that I like,
You're right.
anyways.
Yeah.
So even if I wasn't getting paid, it's just a benefit that I do get paid because I would have already flown it. So now the funny part is it's like 10, 11 years in, and technically I can get whatever I want from any manufacturer for free, but I get the shit that I like, and yeah, I don't care if I get paid to do it
Right.
or not. Like it's almost come full circle to where I don't get paid to do it anymore, so I just
That's
do
good.
it because I like it, and I like buy the gear that I want. Like the only company that I can't get free stuff from is DJI, and I could probably, but I don't. I'm not gonna reach out and say, "Hey, can you give me free stuff?"
Right.
It's like
No.
It's like
you at
pennies
anybody
on the
shouldn't.
dollar.
Yeah.
And if I, for whatever reason, didn't like it, which I don't like a lot of stuff about 04. I don't like the V3 goggles. I think they're retarded and all kinds of like weird little nuances that are shitty about it. But at the same time, like it is really, really good for a lot of things.
Oh yeah.
And
Well, I mean,
that's kind of predominantly what I'm flying now.
I I'm into the whole Pavo thing. I mean, that's why I got the shirt going. Is I literally have the Pavo 20 Pro, an 03 and an 04 Pro version, and I've been flying them almost daily, both of them.
Dude, the HD quality is insane. Like
The
I've been
04
flying
with
this
the
wing.
Rocksteady and the auto, for somebody like me, it's
I wish it had
right up the
audio though.
alley. Yeah, I
If
know.
it had
I do
audio, it
miss
would not
audio.
necessarily
I do miss that.
like in the ear. That would be great, but
Yeah,
just onboard audio so that
right,
you can
right.
hear.
Yeah, I do
Like I
miss
was flying it
in
the
fact,
ear bud.
yeah. Is it still hanging there? It is. Hold on. Oh, it's the Mr. Steele earbud for the HDO2s. Yeah,
Dude, those
I
things we
miss.
sold
I
so
do
many
miss
of those, and
freaking
I don't even.
drone audio though. I do. It's
Yeah,
just more reassuring. I've gotten used to it, of course, but
yeah. It is kind of sketchy when you don't have it, but you get used to it over time.
yeah.
But I was just flying in Austria like 2 weeks ago, and an eagle attacked one of the aircraft that we were flying, and it would have been sick to have audio on board to hear what this fucking eagle was doing, because there's no audio and you just see it like hanging onto the front of the drone with its claws like in the camera, and it's like fucking trying to fly away with the wing that we were flying. And yeah, I mean, I went and recovered the aircraft. We had like GPS coordinates from the crossfire, so
Yeah.
when it crashed behind this mountain, we like went onto another mountain, and Trappy got the GPS coordinates. We wrote it down, and then it was like a 3-hour hike to get there. And
Wow,
after
that's so
two
cool, man.
attempts, got it.
Wow,
It was pretty fun.
that's way cool. That's a story. Wow.
Yeah, the video would be pretty cool, but if it had
Um.
audio, it would have been better. We can dub some audio on there of this stupid eagle like
Yeah, yeah, you
squealing
can.
and making
That's the great thing about
stupid ass
freaking
noises.
uh
Make some AI fucking stupid shit.
AI. That's a whole nother story. So this was my latest and greatest that I bought and built. And like I've been
Okay.
telling some of the people around it. Here's the funny thing though, is I literally thought it was like the Alien. I didn't realize it was the Evo
Mhm.
version until like it got here, and then like I was going through. I'm like, well, that's me. I always think I'm paying attention to every little detail when ordering something, but this flies different than anything I've ever flown. I don't know what it is or
Really?
what. Oh yeah. Now I fly 5S, but
5S.
yeah,
So you're flying like 1950 kV on 5S.
yeah,
That's kind of random.
yeah, and I love it.
Do
I
you fly
love
a
it.
GoPro on that thing?
Sometimes if I want to, but and then here's another thing. That's what blows my mind. If I put the, I don't know, I haven't put the bigger GoPro, but I put the Mini 11 on or off, like it flies the same to me. To me, like I'm no pro or anything, but over the years I have
You don't
noticed certain
notice the weight.
things. I notice how things fly differently and stuff, but I don't notice the weight exactly, like throwing it or whatever. Like it flies the same to me.
What made you pick 5S?
I've been a 5S since meeting West Side and all them out in Colorado. It's the secret
How long
sauce.
ago was that?
Uh, let's see if I can find a year on that.
And where do you get 5S batteries? That sounds like a hassle.
Sometimes it is, but so Onyx makes 5S, and G&B, which G&B has become my freaking go-to. Like the price and the performance, It's unreal, and the size and the weight, like they just dominate all the way around, man. I don't know if you what battery you choose.
I don't even know. What is GMB?
I can't remember what the freaking battery name stands for. I used to something Geo something. Of course, do I have at least
GM battery? GMB batteries?
I'm half blind, but here's a smaller version.
They make car batteries?
Guyana? Why is that somebody saying that in chat? Where are you looking it up?
You gotta pick. I was trying. What does the battery look like? Let me see.
So here's like the main name. And then
GMB. Where do you get GMB out of that?
Right there. See?
Oh, GNNB. Okay.
Yeah.
I was typing M for
my
whatever
bad.
reason, like Molly. GNB.
Did you just
Going
say
open. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, I understand why they go by GNB because no one can pronounce the real name.
That was kind of my freaking senses too.
Ganing. That's funny. I've never seen these before. I've seen the logo, but I've never seen one in real life. I'm sure it's probably like the main battery manufacturer that like, well, not black labels, but white labels a bunch of batteries for like all these different other companies.
It's like the motors and everything else,
like
right?
Bonka. It's probably like Bonka or
yeah, buddy. I know.
Who knows? G&B Industrial. Yeah. Hella Chinese. as is everything in this hobby.
Oh yeah, and really like there's like 3 major companies that make anything and everything, and then just labels are bought and put on it. Good old Chinese manufacturers. I know. Well, that's your fault for freaking waiting as long as you have. Now you're gonna have to wait for me. I tried to take you out twice. Old doggo. Been raining, so watch out. Yeah.
Doggo. What's the doggo's name?
Oh, 1 second.
Buttercup.
Red, or Red Rum.
Red.
Red is for short. I don't know.
Does she murder stuff?
Yeah, he pretends to. So yeah, I got him with the name Red, and so I was like, well, you're Red Rum, all right, and we'll just use Red for short. And it's funny because like when I'm mad, I'll be like Red Rum. He'll like he knows his real name, but
Coward.
Yeah. Yeah, he was sleeping on our meetup. Yeah.
He was in the car or something?
Yeah, he was in the car the whole time. I could have let him out.
Damn toddlers in there.
He, some reason, still after getting cut above his eye, on his lip. It doesn't matter the size. He just has to go for the damn fucking drone. I cannot break him of it. And so, yeah, anytime flying, he just has to be put up.
I'm trying to think of well, Jason Boslow was the guy's name, but he had a dog. I think it's Sadie or something like that. But this was like 10 years ago. I don't think she's around anymore. I know Jason's around, but I don't know if his pooch is. But that thing would like retrieve drones. It'd crash somewhere out in the desert, and you just fucking sprint out there. And
is this the same gentleman that lived in Vegas? There was a gentleman.
He lives in Vegas.
Yeah. Okay. So it's the same guy. Yeah. I remember when I was following Todd and his adventures out that way. That's how I came across his channel. That's
been like a staple in FPV for a decade now. Jason has.
Wow.
He actually let Chad Nowak and I stay at his house like out of nowhere. It was like insane. We went to Vegas one day for some Zappos bullshit race thing, and we had nowhere to stay, and he's like, oh yeah, you could just live at my house, I'm not there, but just let yourself in and take care of the house. And we're like, all right, we've never met this dude before, we've never been to his house, never.
But I mean, that's kind of the beauty of FPV too, is a lot of us are like that, man. Tsukasa, my casa, Tsukasa, or however that goes.
I mean, it was a little extreme in like the generosity standpoint, which was cool. And it
Right.
was actually funny because Chad and uh, I mean, he obviously works significantly, or he did back in the day. I think he was in the entertainment industry with like what do you call that? Like poker. I don't know if he's like he's not a poker player, but I think he had something to do with like the poker situation. And
I
I
thought he
think
was a dealer, if I remember correctly, of some sort.
yeah, he might. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think he's a dealer.
Yeah.
He might have been at the time, but I know he was
Right.
involved with that.
Yeah.
But anyways, it was funny because I mean, he's just a single dude living in a house, and he works like random hours. So I don't think there was a lot of time for cleaning in certain places, and he has a dog that sheds a lot, right? So there was just like a lot of hair in the house, and Chad was like really allergic or something, and like he's just like congested and dying and taking Claritin like their candy, um and then at some point, like 3 or 4 days into the staying there, he just got fed up, and I was out flying, and I came back like an hour later, and he was
Oh.
like in mad. It looked like he had done some meth because he was just vacuuming everything. He was like fucking vacuuming the stairs and vacuuming the bedroom, and he
No, I
vacuumed the
totally know what
bed.
it's
He was
like too,
like
because
he
I
was
have, yeah, two pets, and it's just, I gave up. I gave up. Like, I only do it when I go out. Yeah, I have little rollers. I bought a bunch of them, and yeah.
I
So I
think we
can.
had two shot backs full, like a ball of hair the size of a shot back. Two of those was just from the bottom floor, and then the upstairs was carpet, and he did what he could, and it was I think another two. But
Oh
yeah, the house was much cleaner after Chad left, and it was a fun time.
wow. Oh wow,
Jason's a freaking legend.
that's awesome. So yeah, impulse. Is there any like? I mean, ethics got its own stuff, but like, why not?
Yeah, I answered that question. You asked me what is ethics and like how is it involved with HQ.
Mhm.
So I started the Mr. Steele brand with TBS. This was like,
Yep.
in
Yep.
2016 or 2015. So long, I'll try to make, I've told the story actually recently, so I'll try to shorten it up as quick as possible.
Mm-hmm.
But there, I used to be sponsored by Cobra Motors, which was like one of the very first FPV motors. They made
It's not
like
ringing a
wing
bell.
and helicopter
Okay.
motors for a long time, but they weren't around for very long because of Chad and I, basically, unfortunately. But they made two, like the reason Cobra was popular in 2014 was because they made the right KV. Like everyone made um, 2300, but no one made 1900 or 2000 kV, and everyone was switching to 4S, and you needed that step down
Yep.
to run 5-inch props on 4S. So, because ESCs were becoming a little more readily usable on 4S, because at the time, like 2 and 3S was pretty standard. 2 was like if you're a bitch, and 3 was like if you were kind of doing something, and then they would do 5 or 6-inch props on 3S, which was like holy fuck. And then a couple people did 6-inch props on 4S, and it was like out of control. They would last for like fucking 4 seconds because the batteries just couldn't handle anything. They were like 20C at the time, 2200s, and they would just explode. So, but anyways, they came out with Cobra motor, and Cobra made a 1960 or a 1950. I don't remember. I think it was I don't remember. It was like right under 1950 or something kV,
Mm-hmm.
and everyone would run that on 4S, and that was like the safe bet. And then people started running their 2300, and it was a 2205, like it was a small stator, 22 by 5 millimeters high, and they were really good. They didn't have very many problems. They were fairly cheap. They were like $20 a motor, and T motor at the time was like $45 a motor, so it was like a pretty big like savings,
Mm-hmm.
especially considering you're buying four and you're crashing all the time and shit.
Yeah.
And they were aluminum shaft, like it was, easy to break. So, anyways, Chad and I started flying those, and we were the first Cobra sponsored pilots. There was a guy named Sean Harlan that was sponsored by Cobra, and I ended up linking up with him, and he got me a sponsorship with them, and then I got Chad a sponsorship. I just connected the dots, and Chad actually linked me up with HQ, so it was like a little network of people talking to whoever, like, hey, you should sponsor this guy, he's really good. So anyways, that motor came out, and then Tim from Get FPV was like, you know, I want all the good pilots to fly my motors, which are basically T motors rebranded as Lumineer motors, because Tim was all about marketing. This is the guy that used to own Get FPV, Tim Nielsen.
Yep.
And so anyways, he was like, I want all these guys to fly my motors. So at some point in the debacle of us going to Hawaii and doing our little tour, we're Drone Nationals tour, which is probably predating anyone that's listening to this podcast, but a bunch of like top tier pilots went to Hawaii for like a week, and we like flew in private helicopters and went to all these like super remote places and dove waterfalls and shit. This was like pre-building dives, and anyways, Tim was like, "Hey, I want you to fly this motor," and the motor that he had was a 2300 2206, so it was slightly taller stator, and the batteries couldn't handle it. So it was like, well, I don't want a 2206. And I talked to Tim, and I'm like, I want a 2205. So let's make a custom motor. And he ended up buying a whole manufacturing facility in China. Like he bought a space, he bought winding machines, he bought all these things to make his own motors. And
That's wild.
we spent like 6 to 8 months trying to build a motor, and it was a 2205. It was purple. It had ceramic bearings. I don't know if this is ringing any bells for anybody, but basically this motor that I spent almost a year with Tim trying to make.
Well, Kit says the one that you were talking about was 1960. That's what she says.
1960, yeah, that's the Cobra one. But the purple motor that I worked on with Lumineer for a year, every time I got a prototype, I'd power on and give it some power, and the magnets would fall off at the bottom. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, you know, I can't endorse a motor that I can't fly for 20 minutes, like 20 seconds before a magnet falls out of it.
Warm up and it don't even.
And at the time,
that's nuts.
There was all kinds of like secret, you know, like they had their proprietary secrets of like their glues, how they used. And, you know, that was a big thing with Cobra. They were like, we're not going to tell you what we use for our glue because your shit sucks. So after 3 prototypes of the magnets falling out, I said, you know what, I can't do this. And at the time, Trappy was talking to me, and I'd been talking to TBS and sponsored by TBS. That was actually Thunder Power was my first sponsor, and TBS was my second sponsor, which is hilarious because there were no such thing as TBS sponsored pilots in 2014. I just like really liked TBS, and I'd comment on their videos all the time. And eventually, Trappy was like, hey, do you want to help us build the Power Cube, which was like some fucking terrible ESC that was like stackable. I don't know if you ever saw it.
No.
But it was basically like
a
flight controller.
Before my time, so.
It was a flight controller sized board, and there were 4 of them, and they were stacked on top of each other, and then you had a flight controller. So you imagine like a 32 by 32 stack this big with individual ESCs, and the power actually ran up the sides. Like the standoffs were power. So like if you like crashed in a bush or some shit and there was something conductive in there and the 2 positive and negatives touched, it would just fucking light on fire. Not that that ever happened to me, but I imagined it happening in my dreams. But anyways, that motor, I ended up coming out with a motor with Trappy, but after I told Tim like, hey, I can't.
Yeah.
He's like, we made 1,000 of these motors and we're about to make them live. And I'm like, well, you haven't figured out the magnet situation yet. So I'm not going to like endorse a motor that the magnets fall out of. It's going to hurt me. It's going to hurt you. It's going to hurt everybody. And then at the time, the ceramic bearings were like $4 a piece. So I think it was going to cost like minimum like $38 a motor to even make it profitable.
Right.
So I was like, I'm not about to charge $12 more a motor and a magnets fall out of it. And it's like with my name on it. So I abandoned the project, and it kind of pissed him off. And then about 3 months later, a schizo motor came out that was that motor. So he just like kind of pushed it in. And it was funny because at the time, there was no such thing as like a pro model motor.
Right.
And I had been talking with Tim for like 6 to 8 months at this time, and it hadn't come out yet because we were still working on the thing. And John Schizo at the time, he was a sponsored pilot by Lumineer. And he heard, because obviously we were good friends, so we were talking about shit all the time, and he had heard that I was making a pro model motor. And I guess it kind of rubbed him the wrong way because he's sponsored by Lumineer, and Lumineer is coming out with a pro model motor for someone that's not sponsored by Lumineer. So he hit up Tim and he's like, yo, I want a motor. So they made a 2204 2500 kV and just changed the color to gray. Like it was already a motor that was a 2300. They pulled 2 windings and made it a 2500 and changed it to dark gray, and then it became the schizo motor, and that was the first
Gray or
pro model motor
silver?
ever. It was gray. It was like a
Okay.
dark gray.
Uh,
But they were already silver, and then it became dark gray and said schizo on it. So
okay.
there was like this weird kind of first to market thing that wasn't, it was like kind of fucked up because I was working on this thing for a long time, and then something came out before, but it was like an easy fix because you just take the windings out and now you have a 2500 kV, change color to gray. It was like an easy way to make a pro model motor, which is honestly what I should have probably done. But you know, at the time, I was trying to make something special because you're trying to always make something better. I don't want to come out with something that already exists and just put my name on it.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of shitty. But you know, there's so little innovation in the hobby today. It's almost like you kind of have to do that. You just specialize in one thing and then make it, you know, very specific and
Right.
very applied to your use case, and then you brand it or whatever.
Yeah,
So
dog. No, you just go there. Lay down. Thank you. I thought he was going to actually force me. I was like, maybe I might be able to just switch over the phone, but I was like, I really don't want to have to do that. So is there any future of like you actually producing the frame versus Impulse, or do you like that freaking collaboration?
me producing a frame.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so I'm not trying to hate on Impulse or anything, but I haven't heard from Sean, which is like the guy that runs Impulse, in like 6 months. So I don't know what the fuck's going on with Impulse. I love the Apex, and I had a huge part in trying to in getting that frame to market, and that was like my baby. But at the same time, like everyone and their mother has copied it now. There's like 1,000 Apex clones out there.
Oh, everything gets
And if
cloned,
nobody,
especially China-based ones. Fuck.
yeah, well, I mean, it's not necessarily just China. It's people in the hobby that
Oh yeah, got their own
decide that
CFCs and
they,
everything. Yeah,
yeah.
I know.
But so I don't know. I know that there was like this random situation where this new frame came out with Impulse, and like no one knew where it came from. What is it? I don't know what it's called. Echo, I think it's called the Echo.
Yeah, I thought that was like
I don't know where that just kind of came out of the blue to me, but I guess I was kind of out of touch with the hobby, so I didn't really see it coming. And then there was just like, hey, a new Impulse frame. I'm like, what? Who's this guy, and where'd this frame come from? And I don't know. Again, I was probably more out of touch with the hobby at the time, so it was like a little more blindsided to me than maybe the rest of the people in the space. But I would love to do something, but it's like, you know, the Evo was me asking for an 03 version of the Apex. So that's why the Evo exists.
Yeah.
But I've asked for the 04 version since it came out. Like, so I think it came out in February or January of this year.
So
and
I was under the impression I just flip these to the outside and I can make it fit, or will it not fit in the actual standoff?
It'll fit with even them on the inside. It fits with them on the inside.
For the 04?
I just double-sided sticky tape mine, yeah.
Okay. All right.
I just take the clear like 3M double-sided sticky tape and just fucking put sides on there, and it stays, and I haven't had any issues. There's a little bit of props in shot, and there's like the tiniest amount of frame in shot in the upper left-hand corner. But
I mean, because this is just the 03,
deal.
and I don't see the props in this. But even if I did, the colors, like, you know, I mean, it's just enough to just crop out of there, not worry about it.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna try this real quick before we jump into a little bit of racing. We'll let a couple people ask some questions, and then probably wrap this up. So I want to jump into this other scene, and bear with me. See if first I gotta share the actual clip, and then you can click that. Yeah. It was funny.
What
like
happens if
I did not know how to take your messaging, like, because I really wanted to do like a real full on thumbnail, and then like some of the responses from you was like, I didn't know if you were like, what's this guy doing stealing my stuff? You know, like I just didn't know how you were reacting, but you're just so easy, nonchalant going, you know. So I was like, fuck it, I'll just make it back to the plane. But like, really, that's just your logo. It's just your stash, huh? That's
Yeah, even though I don't have it anymore.
yeah,
Shave
but
that sucker off. Now I got long hair.
yeah, but you've shaved it a few times over the years. Hmm.
Are you out of here?
All right, let's see. I
Are you
gotta
gonna fly?
switch over there, and so then.
Are you gonna maiden your wing today? Mm. All right, we're gonna hike to the thing and then come to the shop, I guess, right? Okay. Drive recklessly.
Yeah, they're in the Asian territory.
Yeah.
If you click on the stream thingy there, where it says, I don't know what it
I
says
hit
for you.
play.
No, I'll hit play. Okay, so as long as you see
Oh,
it
okay.
there. All right, so
Yeah, I can see it.
all right, let me go ahead, and it looks like everything's working on that end. Of course, no sound, but because it's just the ride along. You know, I am. We'll say I was a little jealous. I was in such hype that I took them off and gave them to Rupert way too soon. Like he had like 2.5 minutes versus my 1 minute.
You took off what? Goggles?
The
Oh,
goggles
goggles.
to share him for so he could ride along too. And like I was just so nervous and so excited, and like plus he was way into freestyle more than I am. You know, I'm my side is cinematic. I'm a cinema. I mean, I came into this trying to do realty stuff, you know, and just fell in love with everybody and everything. But like the first thing that really was cool between both me and Rupert was like how you had a fucked up prop from the last flight, you know, and like totally forgot about it. So you had like that issue, and so like it's really reassuring that even the biggest pilots out there have the FPV issues. They just come out of the fucking blue sometimes. Like, but that time, like you just forgot, and I forget about stuff. So that was really cool about our meetup. Like you know, pros even have those days. And it took me probably 3 months before I replaced that prop that I gave you. Well, just because I had other drones too. It wasn't just because I was being procrastinating and lazy. But also, it was actually my last one of those sets, so I had to wait till I got more. But they are my favorite. Peanut butter jellies all day. I do love the watermelon sometimes, but so
I just like the color of the watermelons. I think I might just have Zong make a peanut butter and jelly prop, but in a watermelon color.
so
I just
peanut
like
butter
the green.
watermelon.
Yeah.
All right. So after that this is when this is why the snow's here. Everybody is he's changing the prop out.
What a noob.
Yeah.
Changing props. Who does that?
Not me. I'm a professional, man. Nothing ever happens to me. No, I I would want to say it happens more often, but it's not. It just feels that way because somebody like me who really only has a little bit of a time to do any of this. So when it happens more often than not, it just feels like it. But it's everybody in the hobby has those FPV moments. But anyways, props fixed. Here we go. Getting ready to go on a ride, and yeah, you blew my mind. I when we were flying there before you got there, like I was such a noob trying to find lines and stuff, and then here you just rip every fucking thing. Like this little thing was like Disneyland all of a sudden. Like I'm like it just blew my mind. Uh, but when
Flown
you
there before, so I knew
right,
it fairly well.
yes, of course, but I mean, nonetheless, like it's just amazing me though how like you can find a spot that's just can be completely badass. I think the biggest thing that really impressed me is when you do this yaw spin under this damn truck, like that low flying. Wow.
Oh, flying under the under the
Mm-hmm.
little package truck over there, the
Yeah,
box
yeah.
truck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like, how do you? Sometimes I got lost, and that was part of another reason why I handed the goggles over to Rupert really fast too. Was um, it was kind of starting to get to my old ass. Like when I first
Get
started, I couldn't
disoriented.
watch freestyle, like and like
Yeah, my
same
parents had a trouble watching
same with
for
3D,
years.
3D flying, same thing. Now it's not freestyle is totally not bad. 3D has definitely gotten better. I don't think I could really ever really do it. I don't. I mean, I probably could train the brain and myself, but I just don't. I don't think I want to. Like, that's a little bit overkill for me, anyways. But
Talking
uh,
about 3D quad flying, like flying
yeah, yeah,
inverted and stuff.
yeah. Just flipping my brain upside down to fly. Like, I'm good. Have you done
I'm not
any
sure if
quad
3D will.
3D?
I've done it. It's not fun to me. I don't
No.
like it.
Huh.
I don't like giving up half my throttle resolution and having an ESC that has to cope with
Have to deal
a
with it,
million amps as it switches between,
right?
going one way and the other. I don't know. It just seems kind of inefficient
Well,
from a,
it's gotten
like,
better
use
though.
it.
Now people are doing like smaller things, so it's not just like 5 inches anymore. Like, where people are like literally almost 3D and whoops. So I don't know.
Again, you're cutting your throttle resolution in more than half. So people that are already having issues with throttle control, and now you're cutting that in half and saying, here, fix that.
Right.
Make yourself way better. I'm not, it's a discipline that I just don't have any desire to do. Not saying it's a bad
Same.
discipline.
No, no, exactly. And just like anything, that's not for everybody. I don't. I didn't
If you
get.
thought you thought drones was niche, 3D drones is, there's about 8 people in the world that do that shit. So if you're thinking you're gonna make something cool out of 3D drones, you got to
No,
impress.
no.
You got to impress a couple people like really high. You got to impress those people, and then you got to hope they don't try to stomp you down because they're on top of the world and they're, there's only 8 people.
Well,
You're the
Zoe is
fucking best
actually
one.
part of this Discord, and she's the queen of 3D flying.
Yeah.
uh,
Well, again, if you can't impress her, then who are you?
all right. But I'm not trying to do 3D. Back to like you said, I'm not. I'm not going to discipline myself that hard.
Yeah.
This is already occupies my time, but it's in a good way. Uh, so there's that flight. I was hoping I was gonna have some of the other footage up, but again, everything always seems to be crammed at the last minute with me, so it's that. We'll switch back to the other, and then I'll finish off with some questions and get the audiences. I'm sure they got a couple questions, and I'll get this dog walked. Unless you get onto your hike and off to the TBS shop. Let's see.
Yeah, doing a bunch of gnarly stoof.
Um, so, where'd that go? The driving and racing. How'd that come about? Like, now you,
I mean, I've been in the cars my whole
yeah.
life. I just haven't ever been able to afford it.
So now you train, like, not train, but like mentor or train people at that facility. Like, you work for them, you clock in and all
Yeah,
that.
I mean,
That's
I do. I don't really know what I get paid, but I do show up and uh I do get paid, but I don't really notice because it's so little. It is fun though.
um,
But yeah, I work for Porsche as a driving coach, so I teach people
okay.
how
So
to.
a coach. Okay, that's cool though. Like, I would never. I don't know. I would totally try to do it. Don't get me wrong. If somebody's like, "Hey, Don, go ahead, jump in there and fucking see what you can do," I'd totally do it.
Yeah,
But I just never see. I don't. I've never seen that in my life, and I'm not that big of a car enthusiast. Don't get me wrong. I love
yeah,
those who are, because some of the cars that are built and yeah, taken care of and all that. Like, I mean, I live by the like you should come out here, fly with me at the Bando, and then we'll go to this fucking world's largest freaking car museum that's like 5 minutes from my house that I've never been to. I've driven by it for 20 plus something years, and I just never found the time to go and look at these cars. They even got a free night on Wednesdays, but it's not every showroom's open on that
What do
night.
they do?
It's just a museum of cars, and people have donated
Yeah, but
their
what kind of cars?
all
Any
kinds of
kind, I guess.
cars, like late cars, early cars. I mean, it's just a big giant. And when the big event comes, people bring their own personal cars too. So it gets
Hmm.
huge. I mean, campers come. It's pretty wild. It's called Gilmore's Car Museum. If you want to check it out, and they're always
Hmm.
adding new buildings because
Yeah.
rich car enthusiasts will donate money to and their vehicle on top of that. It's wild. Um, well, I mean uh, that's pretty much my questions. I don't know if anybody in the audience. What's
Share
up,
some stuff
Control?
with you while you're.
What's that?
Do you have people that with questions? I guess you
Uh,
can accumulate questions, and I'll share some flights from Austria with you. Is that
okay.
cool?
Yeah, we can totally jump back to that. That'll totally work. Heck yeah. Awesome.
Let's see, will it let me do this,
Yep.
or is it going to?
No, it should. It should.
Well, I'm on a Mac, so we'll see.
Oh, yeah. I
Discord may
love the
not be
way.
working.
It's weird. I have a love hate for the old Macs. I never owned one. I never really wanted to deal with some of the headaches, but I always loved the way like it just felt more fluent when doing things with the operations or the softwares and stuff versus it's almost like comparing some of the FPV to, dare I say it, the DJI. Like the reason I've fly more of that is because it's one less headache now for me. You know what I mean? It just seems to almost always work. I grab the goggles, I turn the stuff on, clickety clack, boom, the image is there and it goes. Like in other stuff, it's like, oh, I haven't updated yet, so this is mismatching, or I don't know why this is not working. All right. Yeah, and so I figured if I can eliminate one of those out of the equation, then yeah, it's one less headache for me. So I just deal with
It's not. It
ESCs
wants
and
me to reboot. It wants me to reboot Discord before it'll allow me to share my screen for whatever reason. So we can do the questions, and then
yeah.
if it fixes itself, I don't know, maybe.
Well, if you
But I may
want to,
have to join it or rejoin.
that's fine. If you want to reboot, why some of these, uh,
Yeah, I'll be back in a second.
okay. There we go. We got one. I love it. You guys, heck yeah, keep them coming. I like that one. Uh,
See if it works now.
I might even, yep, there we go. Perfect. I'm like, I could be my freaking nut. Oh, oh,
I wish it would just.
maybe
There we
wait
go.
for a second. Now you're
Is
sharing.
it? Is it?
No, you're sharing like everything. Let me hop off of that. You shared yeah, so you have to right click the share screen spot and it'll give you your options to make sure you're on the right actual screen. And then I will also
I mean, I don't. I don't have anything on here. Can you see what's on the screen?
so it's showing
Can you?
the discords you belong to, and then 4 screens. Like you're not you're not sharing what you're watching.
Well, that's whack.
Yeah. That's one thing I will say is a little difficult when it comes to the streaming part of things. You gotta like select the actual. Oh, you got one screen right now. So what you'll do is once you get that going, just minimize the Discord so it actually shows that instead. Yeah.
That's what I thought I did, but it didn't do that. So
Hmm,
let's try this.
let's see.
Minimize. Can you see what's going on now?
As soon as yes,
Do you
yes.
see my Do you see my desktop?
Yes. Now you're gonna click on the DJI video. Let's see here. Yeah.
If it'll fucking open.
Oh, come on, Mac. You have the power.
Like, what the fuck?
I need to switch over to this scene.
There we go.
Okay. Oh.
Okay, here we go.
1 second. I need to switch. Do 3. Oh, you're okay. Yep, it's starting. So.
Can you see?
Yep,
on
I
my
see
screen?
it. I'm trying to get the audience to be able to see it. 1 second. Display capture. We'll add a 4th, yes, and we want Discord one, right? Nope, the other one. I want that one. Okay, then we do this. Oh yeah, it lined up perfect because it's pretty much right in the freaking. Oh. And that works. Okay. Dude, you're like in clouds. Like what?
I'm pushing through the clouds right now.
And so where is this? Like, and where'd you say it was? Oh my god, it's on the tip of my tongue. I forgot that fast.
This is an undisclosed location.
Austria.
Somewhere on another
Yeah.
planet.
Wow, that's fucking cool.
Let's see here. But anyways, let's see if I got. Yeah, here we go. Here's some more cloud flying. Trying to find somebody up there right now. Never found them.
So there's 2 of you up there. Okay,
Yeah, I was like, we found it like we got our GPS coordinates like really close to each other, and I'm like, where are you? So I'm like looking around for him right now, trying to spot the other wing.
Wow.
I'm sure it's in the video. I just never find him. And then we're getting pretty low on battery, so I just split us down through the fucking clouds.
Wow. Look at those fluffy ass things, man.
And then just punching through.
Whoa,
and
dude, that's so scary.
Eventually you start seeing the ground.
Wow.
So let's see what else. Oh, this is cool too. Just floating around in these clouds.
That's amazing.
This is like my new favorite thing. Flying in clouds.
Oh.
It's pretty sick.
It is. Dude.
Also,
like,
I'll show you this
because I punched through clouds once, and it was scary enough. Yeah.
Let's see.
I like how you guys are like somewhere.
Do you hear the audio?
I can.
You don't hear the audio.
No, I can.
I turned it off.
Oh, okay.
So I fail safe like super hard right here. This one's funny. So I'm trying. Oh god. So I'm trying to chase this car, but I'm in a car behind.
Oh no, like, that's fun. Yeah.
The car behind is too slow, so I'm like trying to stay out wide so I don't fail safe, and I'm like, go fucking faster.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna fail safe if the car doesn't catch up, and then we get to this point over here where I'm like, guy, you need to go faster. And then I'm like, I'm gonna fucking fail safe, and then just fail safe.
Right you did not step on the gas soon enough, fucker.
and then this is pretty sick. Well, this is all like unstabilized and just whatever. And I'm also still in the other car, so I'm in the one in the back. So I'm in this blue car right here.
Yep.
But anyways, I'm like driving. This is the best. I'm gonna turn the audio on because it's pretty hilarious.
All right. Let me turn my end up.
And funny enough, this right here, these people, this is like one of the most famous FPV guys. I forget his name. Something like Sebastian something.
Oh, yeah,
He's like,
Sebastian. I follow him.
we had no idea who he was. I'm not trying to hate or anything, but it looked like an amateur grade situation going on. So we just kept ripping. We're like, there's a dude with FPV goggles on, looks sketchy. Like, let's keep ripping. So we ripped
so
right
crazy.
by him.
That's so funny to randomly come up with somebody else. Like what?
And then immediately after this happens, fail safe.
So what was that one caused by? Dude, that's kind of cool. Imagine if that slid all the way
Same situation.
Oh, just didn't keep up.
Because the blue car was just too far away. So like, yeah. I think when I do the U-turn down here at the end of this thing, you can barely see the blue car. So I'm here,
and then he's dipping.
The blue
down
car is
also,
way the fuck, like way the fuck
behind
back
the
there.
other
the
one.
Blue car is like,
yeah.
And then when he gets here, I'm like way over here. I'm also on 100 milliwatts of tracer because these are like my freestyle drones, so I don't really, I don't need to go that far, so it didn't really matter. Right. So, anyways, then after this, I finally get in the black car, and then now I'm like in the car that I'm chasing, so I can freaking chase this thing down the hill. And we were going pretty damn quick, so I don't know if you've ever tried to fly from within a.
I have, and I don't know about quick.
Car.
A moving car is it's different. You really got to get oriented, but it's doable. Yep. But I can only imagine like in a race car going fast.
I just coached Trappy in a car, and he was driving, and it was hilarious to be in a car with someone that's driving like pretty aggressively, and I'm like getting sloshed around in the car. So
I would say the hardest thing is feeling their momentum. It was fucking with my momentum. I did it for my boss. We were pulling up to this one job, so I went ahead and said, "Hey, pull over right quick, and I'll throw the drone up, and I'll fly and follow us in." And so like this property has like hills and stuff, big long driveway going in, and like going down the hill made me fucking go faster, and like so on the way out I was way much better than I was going in because it was like literally my first time. My boss was like, "What? It's your first time?" I'm like, "Well, following within the moving car that I'm actually in. Yes, this is my first time." So
it's difficult.
It is. It's difficult.
Trying to see if I had any video of this thing. We call it the GPR. It's like this little tiny pod racer looking thing.
All right, so we definitely do have some questions.
All right, hit me.
Double A was saying, how is ethics doing as a whole? Are you, is it float? Is it doing okay? Let's see. Let me make sure I read that right. My bot's still saying the stream's coming up on 6/4. Don't miss Mr. Steele. I forgot to turn that off. It'd be nice.
So he asked about ethics.
Okay, yeah. Also, how is ethics doing in general? That's what Double A says. Okay, I'll get to these questions
now. I mean, everything's slow at the moment for, I think, well, not everything. There are a lot of people that are doing well. I think ethics as a whole, I mean, we haven't come out with many products in the last 6 months, but we just came out with the mini chesty, which is pretty cool.
Mini chesty.
Pretty cool little. Yeah. Hold on, let me see if I can get this stuff to stop. How do I?
There you go.
Yes,
just
there
like
we go.
All right, and I'll switch over here somewhere.
Yeah. I mean, I've got like. I'm working on some motors. I have been for a while now, and
like V6s or a whole new line, maybe.
Yeah, V6s, okay. And they're like finalized, so they're kind of coming out soon. And then the mini chesty, which I worked on for like a solid 7 months, maybe longer, depending on when I don't remember when it started, but it's very cool. I'm gonna have to do a video about it because it's got a lot of funky features that you just, I don't know. Like the original chesty is awesome, and we're making a version of that that's a different color. It was just like,
Right.
people complained about, oh, I don't want it to be green, and I wanted to either be like all one color or black or gray. So, there's been quite a few people that want like a special color, and I'm like, okay, whatever, that's easy to do. So we made some gray ones, and they're pretty cool looking. They're like battleship gray with black accents. It looks pretty sick.
Okay.
And then that'll be like a small, single batch run of those. And then the mini chesty is like a combination of what I learned from the original chesty, and also I carry like this satchel thing with me all the time that like has my wallet. It's like a fucking man purse basically. But it has my wallet, a headlamp, sunglasses, chapstick, AirPods, like just the typical bullshit that I want to carry with me. And so this thing kind of encompasses being able to take that over, being like a small bag that I can either wear as a chesty, and it has the ability to have a lanyard strap if you want it. It's not too big. You can like reconfigure the straps and wear it as a belt, or you can wear it as a over the shoulder satchel, or there's like a bunch of different molly connections on the back, so you can configure it however you want to suit whatever need or purpose you want. If you want to run it as a fanny pack, that's easy to do. If you want to run it as an over the shoulder strap with like, you want it to hang down a little bit because there's clips on the top, so it could sit on one side of your shoulder with one strap, and the straps are detachable, and it's got Velcro, and there's also like a cool little thing on the front that holds the like the prop tool. So it's like one clip, and then the prop tool's out, and you put it back. It's super easy stuff. So also fleece lined pockets for your phone that are, there's one on the front that you can slip your phone in, and the camera just happens to stick out just right, so you can have a chest cam if you want.
Cool. I was
Or
looking
you
at
can slip it in the
like
back.
a camelback thing for I just got a new e-bike. Because of course I don't drive because I don't have a license. So finally invested in an e-bike, and I was looking at different things, and they got like a camelback for water, and and then your phone can go right there, and it's got a window for the phone. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
So if that might work instead.
That's cool.
Then
So
so
yeah,
I'm
I don't know
definitely
if I
looking
answered
forward
the
to
question.
that. That's definitely pretty much an answer to me. It means ethics is still doing something. So let's see. I know I saw something else. We were up to like 40. A bunch of people dipped out. That's FPV for you. Let's see. Oh, also Twisted's birthday today, so let's everybody say happy birthday to Twisted. So
happy birthday, Twisted.
you got to be live on my buddy's birthday. Let's see. Oh, hey, Toasted. Welcome to the stream, bud. Let's see. I wish I could highlight these so that way I just had them highlighted instead of scrolling and losing track of one or the other.
This is on YouTube that you're looking?
Yep. OG Kiss firmware on new Fat Tech gear. Some are more statements than they are questions. Like Control said that something about one of your videos, YFly freestyle on 800 milliwatts.
That's an old video.
Yeah, that's one he said he got started.
Pink V6s. I'm like going through here.
Oh, they're saying pink V6s. I like the blue. I'm glad those are blue. And
but you're lucky I'm making the V6 stout and blue.
Are you like a darker or the same?
I think so.
Darker?
Same blue. I like that blue.
I do too. It's a soothing blue. I mean, it's the best way I can describe it. I don't know. I'm a sucker for purple all day, every day. But I really come to like teal. But this this red and blue combination that this wound up freaking being is like way cool.
That's Spider-Man. You can't have that. That's already taken.
Who said that?
Those are Spider-Man colors.
Oh, me? Yeah. Well, the motor guards freaking cover some of the blue. Well, definitely come.
Double A said, GGG, release a new product, Mr. Steele. Been seeing a pic of you and Trappy on the nets.
Oh yeah, that was the other one. Thank you for finding that.
Yeah, I mean, I am not releasing a new product, but I am using a new product that Trappy is releasing here in the next month, so that'll be pretty sick. Actually, there's multiple products, but the main one,
right?
I didn't really go over there specifically to do anything with this product. It just so happened that I went over there and there's a new product coming out. I built one and was flying the shit out of it. So
fuck yeah. One Brad Green says lipos. Need pink. Yeah, well, maybe an SE
lipos
version later down the road, right? Do like 100 freaking SE pink V6s. Please the women side of the FPV.
Pink, I mean, there's plenty of V5 fucking pink ones still around because I feel like nobody liked those. I love the pink, but nobody used
I didn't even know they had the pink. I might have.
Yeah, V5 silks. They're not 1950, they're 1750, but the bells work the same. You could put the bell on there if you wanted to.
Yeah, I think I remember you talking about that on the Get FPV interview. Yeah.
What did someone just ask? I swear I just saw something. Or you?
Yeah, Brad Green says
so
lipos.
I'm flying SMC batteries at the moment.
That's a new one for me.
I've been flying Thunder Power for forever. I started with Thunder Power. They were my first sponsor, like I said in the beginning of the stream, and then there was a point in time in I think 2016 where I tried SMC, which is like a dude out of Canada, and we tried to, because my problem with, I love Thunder Power, don't get me wrong. My problem with Thunder Power is they won't really work with me on a new battery. They just are like, can you use one of our existing batteries and rebrand it? I'm like, well, actually, I have to beg to rebrand anything with batteries, which is ridiculous. I'm like, guy, can you just rewrap it in this color and put this thing on it and make it a little bit lighter if you can, 5 grams? And that's what the Lunar Lander is. Basically, it's their 1100 that they already make, but it's lighter and it looks cool and it's the same price. So that was the thing. I was like, if you're gonna make it, special, it needs to be a little special, and also it doesn't need to be more expensive. They're already ridiculous. Batteries Thunder Power has been ridiculous in price forever. And I actually
remember
over the years have tried to make Thunder Powers more affordable I essentially cut out all of the vendors. I kept telling Thunder Power, I'm like, why are your batteries so fucking expensive? Because every other company is selling these batteries for $28 to $35, and yours are $45. Why are they $45? And they're like, well, it's because it's American made. It's not. It's fucking Chinese cells assembled in America. That doesn't make it American made.
Right.
But anyways, they're like, that's not their bread and butter. They do industrial shit, and the hobby market is just kind of a whatever market for them. So they weren't listening to me, and I was like, that's cool. Whatever. We'll make these batteries, but let's try this. How about instead of selling to your vendors, because there was actually a point in time where you could get Thunder Powers cheaper at Get FPV than you could get them from Thunder Power, because what Get FPV would do is they would buy them in bulk and they'd get a 35% discount, and then they'd mark them down to $42, and then they have the best price, and then everybody goes there for them because they're $3 cheaper than they are anywhere else in the market. So for the longest time, I would just buy my shit from Get FPV if I had to, or I would tell people to go get FPV. And then I was like, hey, why don't you just not sell to anyone else and sell them direct, and I'll send the traffic to your site through a link in my descriptions, and then you can make the price lower. So you can make it $35, and then essentially, you're selling and getting the same profit margin, except now you're not having to sell to dealers and give them the profit margin that they need. So it's just a direct sale at that point. And they're like, okay. And then they made it direct, and they basically kept the price the same. So it went from they were selling a lot of them to dealers because GetFPV would buy them and mark them down, to they were selling none of them because now it's direct and it's a smaller market because no one knows where the fuck they are anymore because they're only on Thunder Power's site and nobody goes to Thunder Power's site.
This is my
And
first
then
time
they're
going
also
there.
the same price. Dude, it was like a fucking nightmare. I'm like, what are you doing? You just nerfed everything to do with this battery because one, no one can find it. Two, it's the same price. And three, like it's not anything new. And honestly, they like change every batch and they keep getting heavier and whatever. So anyways, SMC guy hit me up maybe like six months ago or something earlier this year, and he was like, "Hey, I'm working on a new like lighter. I mean, he has a new line of batteries. His I forget what you call them. They're like red and black. Let me look it up. So
I have seen
SMC
these
battery.
packs, the adrenaline versions. They're from Thunder Power.
Yeah, that's the. But then there's the lunar lander, which is basically adrenaline version,
And
but it's yellow.
and peep this, Mr. Steele. They got 5S's too.
God, I don't know about that.
The Thunder Power has 5S's. So I found somebody else. You know who's expensive though? I think Dogcom still beats these even. Them are some
Dogcom?
Yeah, them are some expensive batteries, man.
I don't even know. Let me see here. I'll just show
Yeah.
you the SMCs.
So this Dogcom 4S at race day is $48. And
So this is the battery.
it's 40.
That's expensive.
Yeah, and it's $43 for the 5S Thunderbolt, the Thunderbolt version, the adrenaline or Thunder Power, not Thunder.
So this is the battery that I'm currently playing with. This 1400. And it's in whatever fucking currency right now because I'm in Hong Kong. So,
okay.
But this is a 1400 at 200 grams, 204 grams. And you know, the cool part about this, at least, and this is something that SMC has always done, they write the internal resistance of each cell on inside the batteries or inside the box. So when you get the box, like it's been tested and the quality control's like really good. So when I'm flying the new stuff that I'm flying right now, all the prototype fixed wing stuff, I'm flying these 14s and these 1600s. So these are like apparently what a lot of racers are using.
1550s are the Ovionics that I get. Ovonics, not Ovionics, Ovonic. Huh.
So and then I'm working on an 1100 with him because these are a little heavy for my application of like freestyle stuff. But I will say that the 1400 fucking flies for a long time and the punch is insane. It almost feels like you have a whole new cell count. Like it feels like you're flying 7S if you were flying 6S on Thunder Power, just because the Thunder Powers kind of have an internal resistance that limits them from outputting a certain amount of power. So anyways, long story short, they are pretty they're pretty good. And they're fairly affordable, like in reality compared to what the hell I was dealing with before.
Well, in Dogcom, like I just said, $48 for their 5S versus 43 at the Thunder Power. SMC. Let's see. First one that came up.
Yeah, look at this shit.
And it's funny because I still have not freaking even tried a 6S on anything yet.
Oh, you're missing out.
I probably am, but
this is the Thunder Power right here, the 46 bucks.
I don't have.
So I guess they did technically come down in price.
Oh. Yeah.
So.
Well,
anyways.
Yep. About time to take the doggo out. See if I missed any other questions. Why is Sometimes chats be too fast for me. Only have 6 of the pink V5s left.
20 out there.
What battery are you talking about, Allie? 2 years you can leave them charged and they still rip?
No battery. Whoever's saying that has had a one-time experience. Maybe the Thunder Powers. I mean,
I think
I've used the shit out of those.
Yeah, that's what I think she's talking
The thing
about.
about the Thunder Powers is they're really durable because they don't allow themselves to be hurt. Like they have such a high internal resistance after a certain amount of time flying them that you like, I can drain them to fucking 10 volts and then charge them back up and they're fine.
You don't have to
If you
cheat
do
them
that
with the
with the
NiCad.
SMCs,
Yeah, or any other battery. I gotta cheat it
you're
if it goes
fucked.
past that. I gotta trick it with like a
Yeah.
0.1% NiCad trickle charge until it gets up to a point, and then I can charge it the rest of the way. But then the resistance is just, yeah, damage the fuck out of it. But for somebody like me who forgets to freaking has charged batteries, like, yeah, I need batteries like that because I'll plan a trip and then not even get to it because something else comes up, and then I forgot that I had charged batteries, and I gotta spend hours discharging or go out and rip real quick if I can. That's why I really am liking the small stuff because it's just easy for me to just throw it around here and with parked cars and everything, it just bounces off and nobody even knows I was even freaking by their car for that matter. Because I literally live right next to a bar, and I've already crashed one 5-inch into the one freaking building into the roof, which, you know, anything like that though, I'm completely capable of fixing. I mean, I was tradesman for 20, almost 20 something years. Now I mow lawns. I just like mowing lawns. It's very satisfying. Maybe one day do my own thing, make my own money at it. But for now, I'm gonna be loyal to this guy because he really treats me good. First boss that ever freaking like totally gives bonuses all the time. Christmas bonuses, like, wow, like, whoa, really? So yeah, I would never thought lawn care was as profitable as it is, but the grass continues to grow, and a lot of people just don't have time to even cut their own lawn. So yeah, I like it. Well, uh, 18 batteries since last summer, flying them too low. It says GMBs. No, GNN. Well, Mr. Steele, I'm not going to keep you any longer this evening. I'm not quite sure how this trip's going to work out. Affordability wise, so I don't know if I'll make it all the way to Atlanta from or South Carolina from that for that matter. But if it's going to, I'll hit you up and then we'll work out someday to meet up while we're down there. And I think it'll just be 2 of us, maybe 3. I won't bring some big old crowd, but yeah.
Well, and all the spots in Atlanta have been either torn down or burned by now, so it's not really let anything to mess up these days. You can just show up and fly whatever. I mean, Cisco's gone and Squares is fucking locked down, and I don't know. There's a couple spots left.
Yeah. Fuck it. I'll go downtown, do some diving. Maybe go across America, dive every freaking downtown in every major city. But I definitely think I'm gonna design some little airboat and do that. It sounds like a good idea. Yeah.
You should.
Yeah.
I feel like this dude Mark in Louisiana has done an airboat. Now that I think about it, but I might be mistaken, just because I associate airboats with.
I don't see why not, though.
Louisiana.
Somebody has to have done at least once, sometime or another. I mean,
I think I've seen a hovercraft, but I don't think I've ever seen an airboat.
Yep, definitely hovercraft. Wimjumbi FPV actually has a hovercraft he just did the other day. FPV'd it. Yeah. So,
Sick.
but anyways, have fun in Hong Kong, and thanks for having, thanks for coming on and all that, and the meetup, everything,
Yeah.
everything you do in the hobby.
Thanks.
I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. Until next time, yeah, I'll get a hold of you. Like I said, I don't know if I'll make it down there or not, but I'm definitely gonna try because I had a good time. Yeah. All right, man.
Cool. Well,
Yeah.
Don, thank you so
Too
much for
easy.
having me.
Yep.